Alright, so today's challenge and object is Sony Xperia 1.5 and see how well it performs in situations like the Veluwe. Now of course the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V has been out for a little while, but I hadn't had the opportunity to test it out. So Sony kindly sent it over and I have it for about 4 weeks, so we might as well try and see how it does in the Veluwe. Let's get on with the video. Also, just a quick first impression about the Sony. When it comes to the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V, overall I think it's a really nice phone. It comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack, which I adore having on the phone, but also more professional grade camera. So if you are looking for a phone that is quick and simple, something like the Xiaomi 13 Pro will do probably better. But the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V so far has been really nice. Just need some software changes, like why do I need to swipe down twice or with 2 fingers to change the brightness of the display, and where is my separate gallery app? I don't like that. Anyway, let's continue the video. So when it comes to the Sony, I love the possibility to play around with shots as well, but I will say when it comes to changing manuals, you often have to do it with one hand. Not to mention, you only get full information horizontal, not vertical. I don't like that because often I choose to actually shoot horizontal. But let's capture some shots here, try to get some depth in it as well. Now, when it comes to phone photography, I often also prefer to keep one single object into focus, simply because a phone doesn't have the sensor size like my camera. Having a forest or anything like that, naturally with a lot of stuff in there, makes it a little bit harder to shoot. So I think with a phone, I often prefer to shoot something where I do have depth of field, like for instance these plants, or this for instance, that I can use to create some depth into it. I want to make sure that I kind of limit the amount of things in the shot itself, with a phone at least. With other things it's easier, but with a phone, simply put, not that easy to give separation. Again, a great example. I can take a pretty nice landscape shot with the Sony, with the tree there right in the middle. Take that shot, but I can also use these again and just create a little bit of a depth situation where the tree is in focus, something in the foreground is out of focus, adding some depth to it, which is trying to basically use the weakness of a phone to still create some depth into the shot itself. Let's see, maybe something like this can work as well. It's not going to be in focus on my phone though while filming this. It's hard to manage it like that, but you get the drift. This is nice. So we have a path that kind of runs through, of course, the tree. So you can potentially create like a really nice focus. A path that feels connected with that tree. Maybe a little bit up as well. Like so. Look at the depth here as well. Actually quite nice. Of course, all handy with my Mi 11 Ultra. See, so maybe a bit again low like this, creating a bit of depth. With my normal camera I will get quite a bit of depth in this shot, but of course again phones are limited to pretty small sensor sizes, so we just have to play around with it a little bit, right? And not to mention, pretty decent exercise walking around like this. See the focus on the tree, like so. I think that could work. Of course, I'm gonna check all the shots out later on. I really like that view as well. I don't have a long time to stay here because it's gonna close soon for the animals itself. So I need to get my car out of here. Oh, actually, maybe a shot like this. So, of course, gonna edit these shots, play around with it. Good thing is, on my phone, it's really reliable to see the final result when shooting it. Where on my Panasonic Lumix S5, it's not. That's a bit of a pain. So, a point for the Sony in this case, especially when it comes to shots like this and just having that straight away visible on your screen. Look at this. Here are actually some hills for me to play around with. Can create potentially a contrast between this hill and the trees itself, giving that shot a little bit more of a standing out orientation. I really like that contrast. So I'm gonna try to see if I can capture it something like this, but just a little bit more photographic, of course. We'll see, let's see. Ooh, that's dark. Oh, it's on basic. That's also a downside, I will say. It does like to go back to basic for some reason. Right, so that's the contrast difference. Let's add a little bit more of a depth to it. And yes, I am shooting RAW as well. May or may not have forgotten to turn that on before, but that's beside the point. Let's just ignore that fact, okay? Shall we? Right, a bit like this as well. I can then play with the contrast afterwards as well between the trees and what is right here. Right. See, I might need to make it a little bit brighter, like so. Sit down, so I'm working with one hand. So, here maybe as well. Again, I like low down shots. Just gives a little bit more depth. That would be nice if you have like a fork in there. It's hard to showcase on the camera, but there's a path kind of feeling there. Having a fork there would be amazing.